episode 50 of the Relatable Runners podcast. Today's podcast is favorites from the first 50. And can you believe it? We made it to 50 episodes.
Episode. Can y'all believe that?
Oh, 50 episodes.
That is so awesome.
Woohoo.
And Nikki is here with us today recording, sitting upright.
Yes. Yep. Shoulders back, Nikki.
Shoulders back. Yes, I'm here in the flesh. Thank you for having me.
Yes, welcome. So we're just going to go through, Amber, you want to kind of tell what this episode is going to be about since it is our 50th?
We're going to just kind of do a quick recap of our first 49 technically because this is the 50th. But just touch on each episode and maybe like a one-liner from it or a takeaway from it or just a little piece of like each episode to just quickly recap all 49 episodes up to our 50th today.
And I don't know about y'all, but I had fun. We split it up into sections, so we each had like 16 episodes that we researched into. And I had fun going back through because I had the first 16.
That probably was the best.
Going back through and just remembering all the stuff and like looking at, listen to little snippets and stuff like that. It was really cool.
For reminiscing purposes, that was probably the best one because there's just like, wow, we've come a long way.
We've come a very long way.
Even some of the ones that I was looking at, I was like, oh, I kind of forgot we talked about that.
Yeah. I was like, wow, these relatable runners, they are
good.
They've got some good information in here.
And so relatable.
So relatable.
I really relate with those three.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of good stuff to say.
For sure. What was the first one with?
Our first one was Meet the Host, where we did a little introduction of ourselves and just kind of our running backgrounds and how we got into it and all that good stuff. And y'all know us by now, so we don't need to touch on that piece. But what I took from that was taking a leap. Following your dreams, going after what you want to, even if you're scared, just starting. Whether it's running, you want to be a runner, but you're nervous to start, just start. You want to start a podcast, but it sounds scary, start. Changes that you want to make for yourself, things like that.
Just do it.
Just do it, right?
Do it, get into it.
So that was that one. Number 2, making time for the grind. And that one was... We talked about the amount of running, once you get to that point where you feel the release of, you kind of get past that blocker. Mm-hmm. And then once you're past that, it's just kind of like you could run.
Kind of like once you realize the first mile was lying.
Yes.
Right.
And
we
it
love
could be,
to say that.
Yes. And it could be 10 minutes after, that happens. And that little 10-minute segment can literally change the trajectory of your day.
Yeah.
Just keep going to that point, and then it makes you feel so good that you can just
push past that and get to that next level.
Yep.
What was our third one? Oh, goal crushing.
Mm-hmm. And that one we talked about how accomplishing a goal makes you feel, knowing your why and sticking with it. So it's always worth it, even if it's a scary goal or a big goal. The way that you feel once you've accomplished it always makes it worth it, right?
Yes. It makes it worth trying all the new crazy goals or new things because it's such a good feeling once you
work towards something and then you can see that you can do it. Obviously, it builds more confidence and then you want to do more. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of helps keep you growing. So, very good. Episode 4.
The 4 tendencies.
Ooh, that was a good one. I like doing that one.
I remember being like, ooh, yeah, since it's episode 4, we should do
that's
4 tendencies.
Yeah. Ooh, yes, that was good. I remember that. That was funny.
We were so excited about that.
That's going to work out well. Yeah. People are going to like that one.
Yeah.
But we talked about knowing yourself and your tendencies. And, if you have not taken this quiz or looked at this before, if you haven't heard episode 4, it's Gretchen Rubin's, what do you say, method, I guess, her 4 tendencies.
Yeah, her rubrics.
I think she calls it that.
Something
rubrics.
Rubric? Is that how you say that word?
I'm not sure.
I feel that is wrong.
Okay.
That's a challenging word to say, but
it's tricky.
It's basically shows your tendency. Everyone is different and everyone works differently, everyone's motivated differently, and just kind of knowing yourself and also those that you're close with because we all had different tendencies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And we know that Nikki operates best in this way and I'm one way and we're all 3 different. So just knowing yourself and knowing those that you're close with or those that you work with kind of help understand how to operate at your max potential and also how others function in their best because we all think and are all motivated very differently.
Very different.
That was a really fascinating one to learn about. I remember really
Yeah,
liking that.
and we could like even apply it outside of running to like, our spouses and our kids and
Yep.
how to relate to everybody.
Yes.
Episode 5 was running 101.
Oh, that was a good one.
Like about shoes.
And just getting started for those that
Right.
want to get started in running. We talked about just starting with what you have
And if all you have is a pair of running shoes, like that's enough.
get out,
Try
test
them
them
out.
out, see how it goes. If you're like, oh, these will work for a little bit, or ooh, these are old, I need to get some new shoes, then, but you just have to start. Don't make it an excuse and say, well, I only have these old shoes, and just start, and then you can
Right.
go from there.
Right. Evaluate later.
Exactly.
Now, I'm nervous to mention this next one because Whitney's going to cry. It's her marathon recap.
Oh my. So that was a year ago, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Right.
Last week. That one I learned that having support and supporting others is a game changer in marathon running. Because like being there for y'all's marathon, obviously I can't even speak of that day because it was so impactful to me. And then like having y'all there for mine and running me in at the end and having Ashley there and my sister and like all
Yeah.
that, like if you have support, and so if you're supporting others, just know how much that is helping them. And it also in turn helps you by, motivating and believing in others.
Yeah.
That was a game changer in marathon running.
My favorite things I hear about the marathon or seen or whatever, it's like if you want your faith restored in humanity, go to a marathon.
Yes.
So
stand
true.
at mile 26 of a marathon.
Right.
And you will just be bawling hysterically at all the strangers running by.
Right.
Cheering them on. Robert, you got this. Debbie, I
Robert.
see you, girl. You're 0.2 away.
Even Karen, we would
Yeah.
even.
Absolutely.
Cheer for Karen.
You got this, girl.
Yes.
Keep going.
So have some support and give some support. It is a game changer in marathon running.
Ooh, the next one.
Ooh, number 7, seize the day.
Whitney's going to cry again.
Don't cry.
That I will not. That one was after my seizure. And what I took away from that was, and I think we all kind of learned from that experience that
Yeah.
we're not promised tomorrow.
Do you want to know what I learned real quick?
Yes.
I learned that I laugh when I get nervous.
Yes.
Were you cracking up?
I
when
was
your
like
kids.
laughing. Like the kids are like, "Why are you laughing, Mom?" I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know what else to do.
I guess I'll just laugh and you guys handle this. But we're not promised tomorrow. We know that. One day you could just be driving your car to work thinking everything's fine. The next day you got to pack your backpack and get on your bike. You never know when it's going to change. So don't take it for granted, okay? Do not take it for granted.
It's really hard not to laugh when you.
It
It's
is
very hard.
And
Joke a
also on that, there are also the only things that you can control are your attitude and your effort. You may not be able to control your current circumstances, and they may suck. But if you have a good attitude about it,
If you're happy when you're strapping on that backpack and
you're
right
carrying
on
that
your
gallon and
Yep.
just thinking about how big your quads are getting, it makes the whole experience a little bit different. You just have to keep putting forth the effort.
Now that we're past it, I want to say I'm positive everyone in your neighborhood thought you had a DUI
That's what I said too.
and could no longer drive your car to work. This girl got a DUI. She's got to ride her bike to work
She
now.
still has to go to work. She is thirsty. She's bringing a gallon.
She's got her backpack.
Bless her heart.
It is July. No excuses.
That was a tough time, I would say, but I and y'all
You-
can speak
you
to
took
this.
it all in
I feel like I
stride.
had a good attitude
did,
through
you
that.
did.
Towards the end, I was like, that is enough. I feel my attitude going south, and we're gonna call this quits right
Yeah.
here. But your attitude and your effort are the things that you can control.
All right, episode 8. A few of our favorite things.
Ooh, we went through a list of all of our favorite fuels and clothing and shoes and all the things. And my most passionate takeaway from that, as you guys can probably guess, is the flip belt
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
capris that I do wear.
I enjoyed doing that episode.
Each time we run.
I
I did
really
too.
remember that. Some of them I remember more than the others, and I really remember enjoying that one.
Because the stuff that we love, like those flip belt capris and shorts that make it so easy for us to run, you just feel.
And I'm very grateful for them because, how else would I get fuel if y'all weren't carrying it for me?
Right, if
Flip
we
belt
weren't wearing
countries.
ours, how could you
Or
please
go
hold your
ahead and be
phone?
like, Nikki, order these tomorrow. You need them.
Yeah.
Or just purchase them and charge you on Venmo or whatever it is.
Whatever you have to do.
Yep.
You can just carry it for me, though. It's fine.
We'll just keep carrying it for you. But those are a game changer. And then cyst gels, I'm so glad you discovered those, Amber, because those
Yeah.
are
So much easier to handle.
so good on our stomachs.
On your GI.
No sugar and
By far favorite gel. Far and
steady
away.
energy. So that has been a good find as well.
Episode 9 was All Paces Welcome.
that was a good one too.
That was.
And we were talking about, if you run, you are a runner. Doesn't
Yes.
matter how fast or how slow or how much. You don't have to necessarily be training for a half marathon to be a runner.
Right. We all need reminded of that sometimes.
Yeah. And then also something we said, which was very good on there, was building endurance is a gradual process. You have to trust the process and put in the work. And I think the number one mistake starting out as a runner or trying to increase your speed is going out too fast and doing too much too soon.
Yep.
It's a gradual process. It could take a year for you to build up to where you want to be, but you have to keep going, keep putting in the work, and keep trusting the process.
And number 11 was race day reminiscing.
But we'll do number 10 first, since that would be next.
Yeah, we could do that, I guess.
Number 10 was...
That was truth behind the squares.
That was a good one. And that one we were talking about being vulnerable and expressing your struggles. It helps you overcome and kind of get through them. We were talking about how what you see online is not always the reality.
Was right when
Rachel
and Dave Hollis announced their divorce.
which really hit you hard.
Which
Nikki
impacted me
was
personally.
rattled.
Yeah.
She was shook.
I was shooketh.
Yes, shook it.
Were you shook when you heard he had a new girlfriend too?
I was happy.
I'm happy for him.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
cute.
she's cute. They
She's
seem
way
good.
cuter than... I'm sorry. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I'm getting my personal feelings in here. It's fine. Anyways, truth behind the squares.
Anyways, truth behind the squares. We were saying that what you see is not always reality. We all have struggles. We all talked a little bit about our specific inner struggles that we had that maybe not everyone knows about, just because we know about each other and things that we're going through, and how it helps so much to express your struggles or your troubles that you're going through.
Yeah,
Get them out.
We're
and-
not meant to carry them
Right.
by ourselves.
let them out. And then also how running is all of our outlets for several different reasons. You have to have an outlet, otherwise stuff is just going to get
Yes.
pent up inside of you, and running is our outlet, which helps us so much with
Yep.
everything.
Life.
Yep.
Now, number 11 was all paces welcome. No, we already did that one. Why did y'all put me in charge of this?
I think we're going to have to switch
Yeah,
roles.
it's race day reminiscing.
Yep. Race day reminiscing. This is, for us, especially me, the fun part, like getting to see the fruits of your labor. It's very rewarding to know, all those training runs that we've done, all of the nights we've gone to bed early to make the most of our run and focus on our nutrition is for the race. And whenever you do a race and it goes well because of your training, it's just a reminder of, how when you stick to something, it can
pays
pay
off.
off. Yeah.
But my favorite thing from there is I remember hearing it like on another podcast or something, like race day. This is what you've worked for. This is supposed to
is
be
it.
the fun part. Like
Yeah.
enjoy it.
That's
And
true.
sometimes
You've said
it's
that a lot
hard
at
to-
races.
To think of that because you get nervous or get in your head about
Like, this
what
is
pace
it.
you want to do. Like,
This is the
this
fun part.
is supposed to be fun. Like enjoy it.
My
Take it
favorite
in.
part of us, just personally, on race days, we always send each other, like, gifts or whatever, and they're always like, game day.
Let's do this.
Like, people, like,
our
putting
game day
the-
faces that
black
morning.
under
Yeah.
their
Going into
eyes.
war.
Yeah.
And I like being able to plan out our outfits and all ride together and like
everything
it's like
that
a,
goes into it is
it's just like an event.
yes.
And it's an event centered around running, so obviously we like it.
So it's wonderful.
It is.
All right, episode 12 was Mastering Your Mind, going over David Goggins' book review.
Stay hard.
That was a good one. Like
If you want to feel like a wimp, read that book.
or if you want to feel motivated to not be a wimp, read that book. And mastering your mind is the main thing that he talks about. It is so important.
It's a little vulgar.
It is. It's harsh, but I feel like the harshness
It's like passion.
is
And it
necessary.
fits him. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be real if it wasn't
Right.
like that, because that's how he is.
If you have not read that book, Can't Hurt Me, read it. It is so good. And it talks about how mastering your mind is so important. Your mind will always, you need to strengthen your mind really more than you do your body, because it's up to your brain. It'll stop before your legs do. So very
All right.
important. Very good.
Episode 13, routines, fueling, and recovery.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. We talked about just all of that, but the takeaway that I got was when you're running, your digestion is paused, and that is because your body is focusing on pumping blood to your muscles and not to digesting your food. So it's either going to try to get it out real quick, or it's going to sit in your stomach and not feel good. So always allow time for digestion, especially if you have coffee on the front end. Make sure there's a window of time.
Not speaking from personal experience.
No, that's just like
But
a general.
It's very important.
Yeah.
All right, episode 14, practice makes permanent.
And I know that we said makes permanent, not perfect, because no one is ever perfect, but we're talking about practicing your habits, and the things you practice are what become, your permanent.
Yeah, what sticks. And if you're practicing something wrong, that's what's going to stick. You're going to stick with the wrong way of doing it.
Exactly. And each decision you make is either helping you or hurting you. I know we say that a lot too. That's a good reminder. Mm-hmm. Each little choice, they all add up. It's either helping you or it's hurting you. And if it's not helping you, if it's not putting you in the right direction, it is probably taking you a step backwards without you even realizing.
Right,
there's no neutral. Exactly. Very good.
That's good.
All right, episode 15, running rules.
What I took away from this is one of Nikki's favorite quotes: stay woke. If you are running by yourself, do not run with earbuds. I have had a personal experience, which we've talked about on one episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like
the
10
old
years
butt
ago.
smack.
The old butt grab for a stranger while running. It's not good. So
wait, what? You didn't enjoy that?
No, it's not. It's not good for me. Not good for me. So don't run with earbuds in. If you are solo, be aware of your surroundings. Don't get caught up in your music jamming out. You need to know what's going on around you, even if it's in your neighborhood, even if it's in the middle of the day, even if, whatever, you're not invincible. Stay, alert and kind of notice what's going on.
All right, and then episode 16, stretching, strength training, and cross training.
Oh yes, all very important. What I gathered from this one was stretching and strength training are important to build your supporting muscles. Strength training works on those little muscles that you need to run. You might not necessarily use them while running, but you need them to run.
They support the other muscles. They all work together.
And then stretching is also important because it allows your muscles to recover after running, elongate, and not get tensed up where you get cramps and tight muscles. You got to stretch them all out. So that's very important as well. And we need to probably remind ourselves to
another
episode
about that, because I know I could use that reminder.
Yes, definitely. I can always be reminded of that.
Very good. So that was my homework, and then the second,
the next part
16
is mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel kind of like an imposter a little bit because I haven't ran in so long. How long
It's
has
really
it been?
only been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Do you still consider yourself a runner?
I
don't know if you can be in the club.
I don't know. I don't know if I can be.
No, you're a lifetime member.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for your
You're
generosity there.
Yes.
So as you know, I'm recently off of a big surgery that was like a goal essentially. But I still went through and I did my 16. I did 16. Yeah, 16 things. So episode number 17 was running experiences. And this is basically why I run, for the experience.
Yep.
Like,
You're an experience.
I'm an experience junkie.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is, anything in life, like sometimes I'll just do something that may be completely irrelevant, but I'm like, hey, that'll be a cool story.
I'm going to look back on this and I'm going to remember this was a fun memory. This is a cool experience.
It's like kind of like my braces. I'm like, well, now I can say I've had braces.
As an adult.
At
the same time that your young children did.
Yes.
That's an experience.
What an experience. So, yeah, that was number 17. That was my takeaway.
That's a good one.
Run because we all love a good experience.
And that's whether it's at a huge race or like down the road and smelling a skunk or something stupid. Like you can have cool experiences no matter whether you don't have to like go across the country to have a cool experience.
Exactly. Yes. And then number 18, speaking of furry animals, number 18, as seen did you see how I set that up there? Thank you. It's like you're reading my notes or something.
Wow.
My favorite running experience is when we found the baby possum on the road.
Rescued it.
Just picked him up, snuggled him real quick, and I'm sure his mom came back for him.
Yes. That's the only way I sleep at night.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys.
Yeah. It was. I'm very sad you
I'm
weren't
sad
there.
that you
And
missed that.
thank you for sending me pictures, though. I'm not really a possum fan, so I appreciate you guys.
I wasn't really either.
You would have been. This was the cutest rodent I've ever
I feel
seen.
like anything that's like, I'm doing
small,
my
I
hands
guess.
very small. This
It doesn't
size.
have the tail. Tail.
Its little eyes were like barely open. It felt like velvet. It was precious. So that's my favorite, as seen on your run.
Yep, that's a good one. And number 19.
Number 19 was challenge accepted. And I could talk about this till I was blue in the face, but I only have 11 seconds. The hard 75. Did it, done it, I will do it again.
Yes.
Number 20 was H2WO. And we basically just talked about our water obsession. And
I remember when you had that idea, I was like, we're going to talk about water for 25 minutes, and then somehow we did.
Yeah. There was plenty of information to be had.
Yes.
Now, this is funny to me because I have not had a lot of water at all, fresh out of surgery, you know.
I need to get it.
And it feels weird. Like, I cannot imagine drinking a whole gallon right now. I haven't done it in over 2 weeks.
You got up to about half a gallon, right?
I did. And actually got some drain tubes out today, and they told me not to drink a ton of water because I'm trying to control
You don't want to hold too much water there.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, I'll be back, though. I'll be back. Don't you worry, Gallon.
You will. You'll be part of the Gallon gang soon. Amber and I still
holding strong. The Gallon gang. Now,
I don't carry mine.
You don't.
As obnoxiously, but
you're more of a discreet member of the gang.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm representing this gang.
She's always
got my gallon with me.
I just like to refill one bottle like 17 times in a day.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's a lot of math.
Approximately.
It's a lot of math, but you are good at math, so. Number 20.
You can handle it.
Yeah, you can handle it.
Compared to what?
Me. All right. 21 was Burnout Blues. So I guess that's what I have. I don't know what I have right now.
You have recovery. I don't think that's called burnout. They're different.
Yeah, that one was like right after our virtual summer marathon, and we were like awful. Over it. We were overrunning in general. And
now I have a cure for it though. Yes.
What?
Be able not to run, and then you're like itching, like because right now I'm like.
I want to
like
run.
nipping at
even
the
if
bits,
it's 80 degrees and I have to run 16 miles.
Who cares? I want to do it. So the cure is be able not to run, and then you'll want to run.
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
Number 22 was overcoming your worst critic, which is, spoiler alert, yourself.
Yep.
This is just really an ongoing battle, I think, for everybody.
For everyone, yeah.
Most people, yes.
And, recently, to make this an exceptionally long episode, I, was on a lot of pain pills recently, and I was telling Whitney this actually, and I felt like this Sunday I've been on them. I don't ever take Tylenol, nothing. Sometimes I will, but generally, I don't take anything.
Do you?
And I found myself talking horribly to myself and like getting pissed off at, oh gosh, this is PG, I'm sorry. Getting frustrated with Eric for I was like thinking about stuff he did when we dated, and I was like getting mad at him. Like, it was weird. It's like my mind was like playing tricks on me.
Because your brain was altered. I mean, your medicine changes.
Yeah, so I stopped taking my medicine and kind of like had to rear my thoughts and...
That brain fog that you got.
Yeah, it was bad. But I was definitely like, for no reason, making myself angry at everyone around me.
And you were like, I'm going to overcome that. I know what's causing
I know what's happening, and I'm going to fix it.
And I'm going to talk nicely to myself and change directions.
Number 23 and 24 was like a 2-part one. It was called Just Running Free. And, not being a slave to your watch, which I know we can get caught up in a lot. And I recently had an experience with this in our last half marathon. Remember when I looked at my watch and I was like, oh my gosh, this is too fast. I cannot keep this up.
And that was at like mile 2 that you saw that, right? And you're like,
And so I just covered up my watch and went for it. And I set a PR.
Yeah.
So running free. I think you should all do it. I'm going to start doing it more often.
I agree.
Because I set PRs then, apparently.
Right.
Number 25 was running through the seasons and talking about like the perfect running weather. And I think the perfect time to run is right now. It's like turning into spring. It's 70.
I prefer fall, but this is a good time.
This is my favorite time.
Well, guys, speaking of timing, we're kind of running out of it, and we're only at 25. So what do you say we go ahead and roll it into another episode?
Let's make a part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank y'all for joining us for the first half of our 50th episode. We will do the second half next week, along with our long run recap.